Across lifetimes and beyond stars, I have seen destinies unfold. I am Rishi Anant, guardian of tales whispered through the winds of time. These are not just stories, they are truths that shaped worlds. Each tale I share carries a path, a lesson lost, waiting to return. Welcome to Mythica Tales, where ancient myths become eternal truths. Sit beside me. Let us begin. In the vast expanse of history, moments abound that define not just a life, but entire dynasties. Imagine a young prince standing at the crossroads of destiny, faced with an impossible choice. What would you sacrifice for those you love? Your crown, your destiny, or perhaps your entire future? Today, we venture into the extraordinary tale of Devavrata, the warrior prince whose sacrifice would echo through the ages of Hindu mythology, earning him the name that would make even the gods pause in reverence: Bhishma, he of the terrible vow. In the golden age of Bharatvarsha, the mighty kingdom of Hastinapura stood as a jewel among nations. Its ruler, King Shantanu, governed with wisdom that earned him the love of both gods and mortals. Yet, behind the mask of royal splendor, the king's heart carried a void that no wealth could fill. Years before, his first wife, the divine Ganga, had left him, taking with her the waters of joy from his life. Their parting was written in the stars, leaving him with their son, Prince Devavrata, a youth blessed with divine gifts and unmatched valor. Devavrata, the young prince, was blessed with extraordinary gifts, unmatched martial prowess, divine wisdom, and a heart full of love for his family and kingdom. He grew into a prince worthy of legend. His arrows flew true as Indra's thunderbolts. His wisdom rivaled the ancient Rishis, and his devotion to Dharma stood unshakable. The people of Hastinapura saw in him their future king, a warrior sage who would lead them into a golden era. But fate had other plans. One dawn, as King Shantanu walked along the sacred Yamuna river, the air suddenly filled with a divine fragrance. There stood Satyavati, daughter of the fisher chief, her beauty as pure as the morning sun. In that moment, the king's heart, so long dormant, bloomed again with love. Known for his wisdom and justice, Santanu had everything a king could desire: wealth, respect, and a son worthy of his legacy. Yet, fate had other plans for this seemingly perfect kingdom. When King Shantanu approached the fisher chief for Satyavati's hand, he faced an impossible demand. The cunning father declared, "My daughter shall be queen, but only if her sons inherit the throne of Hastinapura." The words fell like thunderbolts, for accepting would mean denying Devavrata his birthright. As the mighty river Yamuna whispered its ancient secrets to the wind, King Santanu became increasingly entranced by the enchanting Satyavati. Days passed, and the mighty ruler of Hastinapura became a shadow of himself, caught between his love for Satyavati and his obligation to his worthy son. History tells us that in the darkest moments, it is not the might of our resolve that defines us, but the love we are willing to risk for those we cherish. Devavrata, seeing his father's anguish, took matters into his own hands. Before the assembled court and the fisher chief, he made his first vow, the Pratigya. I, Devavrata, heir to Hastinapura, renounce my claim to the throne. Let Satyavati's sons rule after my father. But the fisher chief was not satisfied. What of your sons? He asked. They might claim the throne in future. With the weight of his family's honor, and his kingdom's future on his shoulders. Standing atop the Vow cliff, where the sacred Ganga and Yamuna met, Devavrata raised his hand to the heavens. His voice thundered across the waters. I take this terrible vow. I shall never marry, never father children. I shall remain celibate for life, ensuring Satyavati's lineage remains unchallenged. The heavens themselves trembled. Gods appeared in the sky, showering divine flowers. From that day, he was no longer Devavrata. He became Bhishma, the Terrible, for the terrible oath he had taken. Moved by his unprecedented sacrifice, the gods blessed Bhishma with Iksha Mrityu, the power to choose the moment of his death. But this blessing would prove to be both a gift and a burden, for it meant he would live to see generations of his family rise and fall, bound by his unbreakable vow. He stood across the turning of ages, unchanging, unbroken. Bhishma, the eternal sentinel of Hastinapura. As empires rose and crumbled, as generations passed like shadows, he remained, bound to a vow that outlived kings, queens, and even memory itself. His was not a life of reward, but of endurance. A living reminder that the greatest burdens are carried in silence. This was the weight of eternity. Years passed, and Bhishma lived on, a warrior, a protector, and a living embodiment of his terrible vow. His story echoes through time, asking us a timeless question. What are we truly willing to sacrifice for those we love? Are we ruled by our ambitions, or can we find the strength to let go? Not for gain, but for duty, love, and legacy. And so, the story of Bhishma becomes a testament to the enduring power of sacrifice. A vow so complete, it echoed across generations. In a world that tells us to take, he chose to give, to walk away from glory, so others could find happiness. His silence became his strength, his renunciation. A legend. In our noisy, uncertain world, Bhishma's tale reminds us to pause, to rediscover the power of love, the value of sacrifice, and the meaning of true commitment. Greatness is not always in what we achieve, but in what we're willing to give up for the sake of others. And that, my dear ones, is a truth that time will never forget. Kings fall, wars are won, but Dharma walks quietly beside you. If this tale found meaning in your heart, let it reach others too. Like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the next story. I am Rishi Anant, and I'll be here every Tuesday and Saturday with more tales wrapped in fire. Until then, be the heroes of your own story, my dear ones.